Welcome to a world where every secret has a cost, and every family gathering hides a story waiting to explode. Here, jealousy, betrayal, and ambition collide in ways you won't see coming. Imagine a $5, 7M condo sparking hidden resentments, a sister's desperate pleas uncovering shocking alliances, and a marriage built on lies slowly unraveling with every twist of fate. This channel brings you true, gripping stories of family drama, revenge, and shocking revelations that expose raw emotions and hidden betrayals. From unexpected pleas for help to manipulations that cut deeper than words, every story will keep you on the edge of your seat. Dive into intense relationship tales where triumph, tragedy, and cunning collide, and nothing is ever as it seems. Stay close because each revelation is more shocking than the last, and the truth always finds a way to come out. The first day stepping into the $5, 7M condo was supposed to feel like triumph. Marble floors gleamed under the soft glow of chandeliers, the skyline stretching endlessly through glass walls, and every corner whispered a promise of accomplishment. Yet, the air was already thick with tension. The congratulations, offered with polite smiles and carefully measured tones, felt hollow. Every word a dagger hidden behind pleasantries. It didn't take long for the whispers to start. The accusations, thinly veiled as concern, painted success as selfishness. Every admiring glance from family hid a sting of envy, and every compliment carried the weight of judgment. A sister's voice, sharp and accusing, cut deeper than expected. The luxury that should have brought pride became the battlefield where old resentments rose like ghosts. The years of sacrifices and quiet ambition were suddenly dismissed as indulgence, while the same family that cheered every milestone turned critical at the peak of success. Then came the subtle manipulations. A request for advice turned into a demand for favors, an attempt at support twisted into entitlement. It was shocking to realize how quickly desperation could turn admiration into audacity. And all the while, the husband's shadow lingered, not in person, but in quiet acts of interference and carefully placed whispers that left doubt lingering in the corners of conversations. Every seemingly innocuous action revealed a hidden agenda, a hand guiding events behind the scenes, ensuring that jealousy and mistrust festered. The first betrayal that surfaced was financial. Figures that once seemed straightforward were now tangled with secretive dealings, debts shuffled quietly, and opportunities deliberately withheld. The realization hit hard. What looked like luck, independence, and personal triumph was always under observation, subtly manipulated, and sometimes undermined. Every step forward was mirrored by a covert pushback. A reminder that family loyalty had its price, and that price was often measured in silence, guilt, and obedience. Yet the deeper wound was emotional. Smiles at gatherings were no longer comforting. They were tests, measuring reactions, noting weaknesses. Every compliment carried an invisible tally. Every gesture weighed in a ledger no one dared show. The sisters' outrage over selfishness now made sense. It was a strategy, a way to destabilize, to provoke guilt, and to claim power in a situation where none should have existed. And as the husband's subtle manipulations became clearer, a darker picture emerged. Alliances hidden in plain sight, quiet partnerships in sabotage, and a willingness to weaponize love itself for control. The condo, meant to be a sanctuary, became a crucible for truth. The shiny walls reflected the tensions within, the spaces between rooms echoing with the whispers of betrayal. Each revelation, small, sharp, and unavoidable, laid bare how ambition, jealousy, and greed could corrode trust. Every secret, every manipulation, every calculated word was now visible, no longer hidden behind smiles or social niceties. In the end, the lesson was clear. Triumph reveals true intentions, and the very walls meant to celebrate victory also expose the shadows lurking within the people closest. It started with a sharp accusation, the word selfish, thrown like a weapon across the room. The $5, 7M condo, a symbol of hard, won success, suddenly became a mirror reflecting long, simmering resentments. What was meant to celebrate achievement turned into a proving ground, exposing the fragility of family bonds and the ease with which loyalty could fracture under pressure. Every smile felt calculated, every compliment a test, measuring reactions, gauging patience, and marking vulnerabilities. Then the reality of unemployment hit, and desperation filled the space like a heavy fog. Pleas for assistance were no longer subtle. They were urgent, insistent, and almost manipulative. At first, they were easy to dismiss as temporary struggles, but patterns began to emerge. The requests weren't just about money or support. They carried a weight of expectation, a sense of entitlement, and a silent threat. Fail to respond, and the judgment of selfishness would escalate. It became impossible to ignore the intricate web being spun. Secrets surfaced in hushed tones and unintended slips. A sister once trusted, now revealed as an ally to hidden schemes, had quietly aligned with the husband in ways that defied understanding. Financial entanglements, carefully hidden conversations, and late-night messages uncovered a disturbing partnership. What seemed like misfortune now appeared as a calculated strategy, a move to destabilize, to assert dominance over independence, and to manipulate perception. Every interaction felt like a test. Conversations about mundane matters or guests, schedules, became coded exchanges loaded with underlying threats. The husband's influence was subtle but omnipresent, shaping responses, nudging decisions, and amplifying tensions. Behind polite faces and measured words lay a game of power, with each player sharpening their advantage while masking true intentions. It was a lesson in vigilance. The more visible the success, the stronger the drive to undermine it from within the family circle. The most shocking revelations were emotional. Long-standing trust was exploited. Vulnerabilities used against the very person who had once extended warmth and support without hesitation. Alliances once assumed to be natural and unbreakable were revealed as fragile constructs, susceptible to manipulation and control. Every demand for help, every desperate plea, became another instrument in a symphony of betrayal, orchestrated with precision to provoke guilt and self-doubt. The bitter truth emerged slowly, painfully. The sister and husband had created a silent pact, one that intertwined desperation with opportunity, ambition with deceit, and family loyalty with self-interest. Each discovery was a reminder that love and trust could be weaponized, that the closest bonds could hide the deepest betrayals, and that personal triumph often reveals the dark motives of those who appear closest. By the time the dust settled, the realization was unavoidable. Desperation had uncovered a carefully hidden network of lies, and the true measure of family had been exposed. Fate has a way of bending quietly, reshaping every intention, every decision, until what once seemed random feels deliberate. A sister's stumble, once seen as misfortune, became the catalyst for truths long buried to finally surface. The downfall wasn't just personal. It was a doorway, a slow unraveling of lies carefully constructed over years, a map of manipulation hidden in the shadows of family interactions. Each misstep revealed layers of deception, exposing financial betrayals that had been stitched into the fabric of family life with cunning precision. The web extended further than anyone could have imagined. Unseen accounts, secret investments, hidden transfers, all pointed to a calculated orchestration that had quietly siphoned trust, loyalty, and security. The husband's influence, once subtle, now appeared as a shadowy force shaping outcomes behind closed doors, twisting relationships for personal gain. Emotional manipulation surfaced in ways that were almost cruelly theatrical. Guilt, obligation, and fear were deployed like instruments, carefully measuring reactions and exploiting weaknesses. It was a reminder that the most intimate bonds are also the most vulnerable, and that love could be wielded as a weapon in the quietest moments. Every revelation carried the sting of betrayal. Conversations once considered harmless now appeared as coded messages designed to control, to test, to provoke. Family gatherings, dinners, casual visits, all had been stages for a silent drama, and the role of each player now became clear. The sister's desperation, the husband's subtle insistences, the carefully timed financial missteps, all were pieces of a puzzle meant to destabilize and dominate. What had been hidden in plain sight became undeniable, and the weight of truth was heavier than expected. It wasn't just financial deception that hurt. It was the emotional cost. Trust fractured, loyalties shifted, and the realization of collusion between those closest inflicted wounds deeper than any material loss. Every expectation of support had been a trap. Every request for help was layered with manipulation. The shock came not just from the betrayal itself, but from the knowledge that these tactics had been ongoing, deliberate, and designed to erode confidence slowly, invisibly, until control was complete. Yet in the midst of this, the bitterness of betrayal turned into clarity. Justice, when carefully observed and quietly applied, tasted sharper than revenge itself. The collapse of the sisters' influence, once feared, illuminated truths that had long remained hidden. Truths about deceit, greed, and the delicate balance of loyalty and power. The husband's carefully concealed actions, once cloaked in shadows, were now undeniable. The final pieces of the puzzle fit together with startling precision, leaving no room for doubt, no room for excuses. In the end, what was intended to control and suppress revealed the full scope of manipulation, exposing every lie, every secret, and every dark ambition lurking beneath the surface. If you were captivated by this story of betrayal, manipulation, and shocking family secrets, make sure to hit the like button. It helps us share more tales that reveal the dark side of ambition and love. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of our intense, true family dramas. Every story brings twists, suspense, and jaw-dropping revelations that you won't find anywhere else. Share your thoughts in the comments, because every family has secrets, and some truths are too shocking to keep hidden.